From fan-favorite characters getting eaten alive or left behind, to an unexpected character getting chosen by the wilderness. These are the questions Yellowjackets Season 3 has to answer following the finale. Starting with all the cannibalism, unexpected deaths, and divided opinions among the cast and fans. Simone Kessel said that filming the final episode alone was intense, because Javi became the latest offering to the wilderness in the past timeline. Shauna butchered the guy, and even his older brother Travis committed to consuming him. Yeah, things got dark and twisted real quick. Steven Kruger reminded us that this is what the show promised from the start. Not everyone makes it out of the forest alive, and that's the harsh reality they face. The deaths and sacrifices these characters make shape who they become in the present timeline as adults. So as the finale unfolds, chaos, darkness, and violence take center stage, especially when Lottie emerges from the attic and claims that it was the wilderness that saved Natalie. But just when we think things can't get any weirder, the cabin catches fire and traps the girls inside. Taissa eventually becomes the hero and breaks down the door. In the end, they end up in Coach Ben's underground tree fort, where Javi had been secretly living. Emphasis on had. Let's talk about what's going on with Coach Ben. Not only did he lose a leg, he also had to fend off Misty's bizarre infatuation with him. Season 2 showed things going from bad to worse for him. We're talking depression and severe hunger, to the point that he starts hallucinating an alternate life, where he stayed with his boyfriend instead of joining that soccer tournament. But did he attempt to set the cabin on fire? Well, nobody saw him do it. But the leap from his disgust at Club Cannibal to accepting the idea of roasting teenagers in the dead of night sounds a little suspicious. If he had set the cabin on fire, it'll set the stage for an intense conflict moving into Season 3. Could Ben now be driven to stop the Yellowjackets by any means necessary? And will he resort to alternative tactics if his plan fails? Well, as the team seeks new shelter, those underground caves seem like the perfect solution. But the mystery behind the coach's motives isn't the only thing that needs to be addressed. Fans also need to know the 1996 Yellowjackets will regroup after the fire. I mean, come on! Those kids were already going through a lot of chaos even before their shelter went up in smoke. That cabin, as creepy as it was, had become their home. The transition from scavenging Jackie out of sheer desperation to hunting down poor Javi. Sure, they technically didn't kill him, but they stood there and watched as he drowned in a frozen pond. From there, things only got more messed up as their cannibalistic habits became ritualistic. So what's behind this twisted transformation? Well, it seems like it all ties back to their new antler queen. In the finale, we find out that Lottie desperately wants to wash her hands of the responsibility for what the group has become, especially under her spiritual guidance, as she declares Natalie the new antler queen. Now she is plagued with guilt over letting Javi die in her place. Taking on the role of antler queen is something she could never have imagined doing before. And who knows, it might be a way for her to avoid confronting her actions. But distractions only work for so long before guilt and pain catch up. So the big question is whether her reign as antler queen goes smoothly or not. Sure, she knows about Ben's underground shelter, which could give her some leverage in leading the group to safety. But will Lottie's die-hard followers accept a new woman calling the shots? And does Natalie even want that responsibility? The whole situation is a big mess, just like everything else happening in the woods. Is it just me whose mind is blown by the fact that Misty destroyed the black box? Amidst all the murder and cannibalism going on, this is like the cherry on top. Just imagine the chaos that'll unfold when someone discovers her little secret and realizes that she single-handedly doomed everyone to a lifetime of trauma. We got a taste of it when she told Crystal everything, thinking that she had found her soulmate who would understand. But she didn't react with empathy and support like Misty hoped. Nope, she got angry and threatened to tell everything to the whole gang. And guess what? Things got physical and Crystal died because of it. Now, you'd think someone as responsible for this whole horror show as Misty would be held accountable, right? Well, not. None of the adult Yellowjackets bring it up. I don't know about you, but if I were in their shoes, that girl would have some serious explaining to do. Maybe the suspense is building up to the moment when she finally lets the cat out of the bag, and adult Shauna goes ballistic, So with Crystal gone, who's next? Well, the Yellowjackets have been stuck in the wilderness for months, and we all know what that means. More hunting, more survival tactics, and more gruesome acts. We haven't even caught up to that insane flash forward from Season 1, where they're chasing down a naked member of the team, apparently in some twisted ritual, or if Van will die from cancer or not. His cancer story seems to have vanished into thin air. It's like the writers randomly decided to leave the cancer plot hanging. Well, that is until Lottie decides to make things even more interesting. As Natalie's body is being taken away, she gives Van a weird look and says, "We gave it what it wanted. It is pleased with us." Did she just hint at something evil behind Van's cancer? Honestly, it's anyone's guess at this point. But if he does make a return in Season 3 with a clean bill of health, we might need to reevaluate our theories about supernatural forces being at play. Because beating cancer would be nothing short of a miracle in itself. Of course, that's not the only thing everybody's looking forward to in Season 3. I mean, Natalie's loss needs to be addressed too. It was a twist that no one was expecting. Especially since this has made Misty extremely guilty, because of her role in killing her best friend once again. So as Season 3 unfolds, we can expect her emotional journey to take center stage. Plus, she has a new relationship with Walter, and that's going to make things quite interesting. But that's not all. Callie is determined to delve into some deep, unsettling psychological territories of her own. The show hints at the potential darkness lurking within her, which promises to add an intriguing layer to her character as the story progresses. Then there's Lottie, now confined to a mental institution, who drops a clue before she leaves. She tells Ty and Van that they gave the wilderness what it desired, and that it is pleased with them. This statement hints at the consequences of their sacrifice, leaving breadcrumbs that lead us to think about what lies ahead. Will they witness the effects of their actions in Season 3? Well, honestly, anything can happen. The finale also marks a huge turning point in the past storyline. Shauna's left with no choice but to wonder why Natalie was chosen by the wilderness instead of her. This hints at a power struggle brewing between them, as she redirects her defiance toward her fallen friend. But before we can fully process this interesting new dynamic, disaster strikes. The cabin is set on fire, forcing the teen survivors to run away with only the essentials. That was a truly tragic scene as they stood in the snow, watching their sanctuary burn to the ground, setting the stage for a new chapter of challenges. So looking ahead to Season 3, we can expect the adult survivors to struggle with the aftermath of Natalie's sacrifice and death. Misty's guilt will probably be a driving force in her character arc, while Natalie's ascent to becoming the Yellowjackets' Antler Queen in the past timeline means we'll get to explore her transformation. Not only that, but Lottie's cult getting disbanded, thanks to her institutionalization, introduces a new sense of freedom and potential resolution for the Sadecki family. As for Walter, his resolution of the Adam Martin investigation offers a glimmer of hope for peace in their lives. But the cabin burning in 1996 brought a whole new set of challenges for the teen survivors, because as they search for a new home, they may uncover the truth behind the fire and discover if Ben had any involvement. So from Natalie getting chosen over Shauna by the wilderness, to the repercussions of Javi's older brother and the rest of the team consuming him, these were the questions Yellowjackets Season 3 has to answer following the finale.